Hello, welcome to Loremaster's Lair. I'm your Loremaster, here today for our trip around the stars. Pathfinder 2e is coming out soon, but we are not celebrating quite yet. We still have a typical look at the Vesk-4. So, we find ourselves on Vesk-4. Vesk-4, previously known as Telferiac, is a planet with a single landmass. The Vesk have also nicknamed the planet the Glutton due to its high gravity, which has pulled all 3 moons and several other space objects down to its surface, as well as its having high radiation and high volcanic activity. This made the planet an ideal mining community, with the resources being constantly pulled down to the planet. But this changed slightly when crystals that could channel Solarian power were discovered. While still mostly devoted to mining, the planet is now also home to the highest concentration of Solarian activity in the Vesk-4. The primary natural species to the planet are the Taufi, more-like creatures who have tunneled a path across the planet for millennia. They are the species which fought and lost against the Vesk, and the ones who now use their digging skills in the mines. The other species are still standing against the Vesk. The giant creatures known as the Vidrids are unintelligent crustaceans who call the Dredgelands their home, fighting when not mating, and have irradiated flesh so that they are not even safe to eat. The Sutrins are intelligent insectoid creatures who eat ore. They live a low-tech existence and are aggressive to creatures who attempt to move into their territory. The government, like all other Vesk-4 government, is centered around a high despot. However, the council which the high despot surrounds themselves with is the democratically elected Council of Labor. After all, the planet is where everyone is expected to work, in return for benefits like free healthcare, better than some non-military conquered places I know, but anyway. That said, the council is made up of all Vesk, and the law is still that everything the planet does is for the good of the Vesk-4. The planet has 2 paths forward to the people living on it. Continuously working on the planet in some way, shape, or form their whole lives, or join the military and use it as a ticket to leave. There is nothing outside of work on the planet, leaving children with the wilderness as the only entertainment. There are only 3 major cities on the planet, the lack of resources leaving other communities transient, especially mining communities. However, one of the cities is slightly different than those following traditional Vesk values, being a center of Solarian culture. But speaking of, let's move on to locations. As mentioned, there are 3 main cities: Vesk-4, Tribulation, and Zakreem's Hope. Vesk-4 is, of course, the capital. Unlike other Vesk capitals, there are a lack of green spaces, the location only being a central point for labor and resources to pass through. It is built on Moonfall Plateau, the location where Vesk-4's first moon fell. Tribulation is a smaller version of the capital, built around Second Sorrow, where the second moon fell. Zakreem's Hope is built out in the swamps of the Dredgelands, a Solarian commune. Other landmass include the Solarian Military Academy of Corona Academy, a giant mountain range known as the Veskadi Mountains, which cuts the main continent in half, Cinder Talon, the largest mountain and a supervolcano of the range, Spinebreaker Island, where the third moon fell, and the Shazirian-infested mudflats. Which brings us to the end of today's video, and in turn the beginnings of our celebrations of the beginning of Starfinder 2e. Expect more Starfinder focused videos for next month, starting with next week's video. See you then.